Okay, so this is the first video I'm going to do of I don't know how many, but I'm going to try to put together this series of videos to help you go from I know that the stock market is a thing and that's about it to where I'm currently at. I'm not an expert. I'm not looking back at hindsight with mastery. I'm kind of documenting my progress as like a brand new trader, and hopefully I can help shortcut you um, and help you avoid a lot of like the headaches I've had so far and like the bad habits I'm trying to break. If this system works for you, cool. If it doesn't, cool. Um, so I have been doing this for about 4 months. The first like month and a half maybe, I was doing crypto scalping, which was fine. I was doing okay, but it was like 150 trades a day. It was super labor intensive. It was mentally fatiguing, and my profits were getting eaten up by transaction fees, and it wasn't sustainable, and it wasn't going to be the kind of money that I wanted to make. So I started looking around, and I found the ICC system, and I'm basically taking the information that I'm learning from primarily two sources: Trades by Psy and Wixosro, and I'm going to try to explain that as best I can. It helps me, and hopefully it helps you. So we're going to start from the very beginning. The first thing is you really need to get a Tradingview account. So just go to tradingview.com, and I would encourage you, if you're going to do this, you might as well do this. So you can get the free account, but it makes things mm, a little bit tougher. There's some stuff that you can't really do that would be really nice and I'd say kind of necessary. So just get the basic subscription. I think it's like 12 bucks a month or something. You don't need to worry about a broker yet, and you really only need the basic subscription for now. If you want to do other stuff later, that's up to you. But go into TradingView, create a profile, and then you should at some point wind up at this screen here. So I'm going to walk you through some of this stuff and then how to set up TradingView in the charts. And that should save you, like I said, like a couple of weeks of just dicking around in here and being frustrated. So first thing, go to your little icon here and just go to dark theme. There we go. Oh my God, so much better. Now we're going to go to products and supercharts. This is where we're going to spend 99% of our time. So click on that, go in here. We've got a couple things up, so let's change this. We'll just take, let's do silver. Silver's been, I really like silver. My screen is going to look a lot different than yours. So let's run through the TradingView screen, and then we'll go into how to change these settings if you like these. So when you're in here, we are gonna, first of all, we need to set up, go to this trade button up here in the top right, and we're gonna go to paper trading as a broker. And this lets us use monopoly money in the real charts. So that's the first thing we're going to do so that we can go in here and trade and stuff. So let's look at this. This is your symbol. We are trading futures, micro futures specifically. We can talk about that later. For now, it doesn't really matter. This button here is a compare. I've never used this. So I want you to go in your chart, and you're not going to see this stuff. You're going to have this little caret though for the intervals. So click that caret, and I would recommend that you ignore the ticks, ignore the seconds, and then you favorite the 1 minute chart, the 5 minute chart, 15, 30, 1 hour, 4 hours, 1 day. And once you do that, what you should see is it laid out up here. And when we click through, we're going to different time scales for your chart. Now we have this candles thing. We go back to like a 15 so we have a little bit clearer image. These are your candles. I would really only do bars, candles, or hollow candles. So bars look like this when you zoom in. Regular candles look like this. This is what I prefer. Yours are bright red and bright green. We'll change that. And then hollow candles. I don't know. If you prefer it, if it's easier on your eyes, whatever. This is what I prefer. Here, I don't use saved indicators or templates or anything like that. You can if you want. You can look into it. Alerts. There's another way that we are going to give ourselves alerts, and we'll go over that here in a little bit. This button's going to be really important, especially as we're starting. This is the bar replay. Click that, and you'll get this little pair of scissors, and you can click, and it'll take us back in the chart historically. If you want to go back further, you click it again, or down here, or I'm sorry, bar select, and you do it again. And now you can do a couple things. You can hit play and let it play forward. And this we can change. Let's do this. What I find more helpful is this frame by frame, and it gives you one candle at a time on whatever time frame you're on. So it's a 15-minute candle or a 1-hour candle, it doesn't matter. You just move around. Okay. To turn this off, click again, and then leave. When you go back in, now that you've done that, it'll ask if you want to start a new one. Yep, new one. So there you go. There's how that works. We're going to use that a ton. This right here, if you have a higher tier, it'll let you look at multiple charts at the same time. For now, we'll just leave it on one. And it, when you click in here, it'll show you the different ways that you can orient your screen. Okay. Here, you can create these different layouts. So for this, we'll just say, cool, that's what we're using. And that's this little guy right here. If you pin them, or if you favorite them, they'll show up here. I got to clear this out. I don't use these anymore. This, you can search. I've never used this. I don't really use any of these up here. So here's a settings button. Here's a settings button. Here's a settings button. This is just a right click. So going into settings, we'll go through this a little bit more. You know what? Let's just do it right now. So for symbols, what I have done to get these background colors, or I'm sorry, my candle colors, I use these colors. Now the reason I do this, and I've changed it from that horrible red and green, is psychology. The red and the green are horrible colors to help you stay chill when you're making decisions. Like those colors are designed to get a reaction, or not designed, but they cause a reaction in people. And this is really well understood. Like it's actually pretty interesting if you go look into it. If you think about a fast food restaurant, what colors does damn near every fast food restaurant use? Red, yellow, orange. Those colors are used because they have a tendency to make people hungry and uncomfortable. So why would you want to do that? Well, think about it. I have a fast food chain. I want you to come in here, buy a bunch of stuff, and get the fuck out so we can get more people in here. And so if I'm McDonald's, you think about, I mean, I haven't been in McDonald's in forever, but if you go inside, they probably still have those awful plastic, uncomfortable yellow seats. So you're kind of like, ugh, you know, and it's just, you eat your food and you leave. So this red and this green, that's the baseline on the chart, has the effect of red's bad, right? Green is good. And I feel like it just kind of muddies my decision making. So these colors are better suited to help you stay calm when you're making decisions. You can use these colors. I just like them. Um, or you can use any other kind of like muted pastel. But anyway, so symbol, body, go in here, click on this little thing. So this is going to be your um, candle, or the candles that go up, and we'll talk more about it. And then this is the candles that go down. So come in here, press the little plus. This is the color code, and then you hit add, and then it will now show up down on this little list for you. So these are going to be the same at 100% opacity. And then the wick, you can see back here, well, right here. I have my wicks kind of ghosted, and to me it takes away from the distraction of the candles. Like I know they're there, or I'm sorry, the wicks. I know they're there. They're important to me, but they're not so important that I want them as the same color or opacity. So 25% opacity on that, and then over here, this purple one. There's your color code. Hit add, same thing. 100%, 100%, 25%. Same thing with the background. I changed it a little bit from all the way black to this color code. Gives a little bit of contrast that isn't as tough on the eyes. And then my time zone here is UTC -8. So that way this all matches up. It's early in the morning. I have to take my wife to a spinal surgery here in a couple hours, and I'm stressed out. So I figured I'd do this so I don't have to focus on being stressed. Okay, that's this top bar. Let's go down this right side. Here you have stuff that you're watching. If you want to have it on here, like, oh, cool, like these numbers are moving. Cool, I can go look at the chart if I want to watch these. Alerts, it just shows what current alerts you have, which we'll get rid of because I'll show you how to do those later. Some other stuff I really don't use. This is Pine Editor. If you are so inclined to write your own scripts or use somebody else's and try to automate this, go ahead. I find that doesn't work very well. I feel like the decision making is still on the person, and then your notifications and stuff. So that's that. Let's look over here on this left side. So there's a couple of things I think are important for us to have favorited for now, and I got rid of a bunch of stuff because I think this is kind of what you need to get started. So we'll look here at this caret. I don't have anything here that I feel is necessary. Like I'm always going to have my crosshair. This guy here, you definitely want the trend line. This is going to be a tool we use a lot. For now, horizontal line's good for some practicing, and that's it. Nothing else on this. This guy, nothing at all. We don't need any of that. Same deal here on patterns. If you go on YouTube and you get all stressed out looking at all these gurus and shit that use like 20 different indicators. That's where I started too. It sucked. I had like 10 indicators and it was just such a mess. I feel like this is so much nicer to be able to just watch what's going on. Oh, I have it on gold. I meant to have it on silver. To silver. Here we go. That's better. And then we'll get rid of all our indications and stuff. I do use a couple indicators that just kind of make things easier for me, so I don't have to do it manually. But I'll show you that. Anyway, this one here, favorite your long and your short positions. That's all you need there. And when you're doing this, by the way, this little guy, it'll just show up and populate, and you'll start seeing the things on there. And you can just drag that around, put it wherever you want. Here, under the little paintbrush tool, rectangle, you don't need the path. I mean, actually, you know what? Yeah, go ahead and use the path tool as well, because this will help you mark out our highs and lows and stuff, and we'll learn that way. And then if you want to, annotate or whatever you can, and if you want to put like, oh, I'll put a little smiley face over here. Oh yeah, hell yeah, that's good. Yeah, nice. That was a good decision I made there, or whatever. So there you go. Moving down, I don't use the measuring tool at all. I will use the magnet a lot, and the reason for the magnet is if I have it turned off and I'm trying to be precise here, and I'm like, okay, well I gotta set this here, and I'm like, fuck, dude, like, okay, do I zoom like way in? All right, well, all right, maybe, I can't really tell. Is it, meh. So if you go to the magnet, now when you do it, it'll snap, and I use a weak magnet. It'll snap when you get close. And I go, all right, cool. And then I actually just want this to be a straight line, so I just shift and click. While we're here, let's go adjust this. So just double click on the line. This is the color profile for this one. And like you can do whatever colors you want. These are just what I use, and I think it looks pretty. Hit add. We're not extending the line. Also in here, when you pick your color, I would do the thinnest line thickness, like that. Okay. So let's get rid of that. Also, like you could see, I think when we did that, it lets you change it from here too. Like if you want to put text on there, it'll show up in there. With this color, you can change that. Now this, actually, while we're here, I want to show you alerts because this is that's an important thing we're going to use a lot because you can't sit at your computer all day, every day. So we'll say, okay, let's just make a straight line. Say, I think price is going to come back to this line, we'll just say. So I drag this over here and I say, all right, cool. I want to know when it touches that line. And so I will, let's see how I usually do this. Just don't think about it. So right click, and then you go add alert on trend line, and that'll bring this up. So it's on, this is on a symbol, it's on silver. We want to know when price crosses that line, and you can change that. You know, you can have it cross up or down or whatever. And then, or value, which should be over here, but we're going to stick with just this because I don't care enough to get in here and be super anal about it. You can add conditions, you can do all kinds of shit. I want it to trigger every time the bar closes. You know, I only want it to do it once. I want it to do it once a minute, whatever you want. Messages, again, I don't care because it'll just populate with this, and that's all I need to go look at the chart. But, you know, you could say, I'm showing somebody else how to do this. Whatever, silver low, and, you know, place an order here. And you can do placeholders and shit. Notifications, where do you want it to go? So I have this, I don't remember how I did it, you can go figure it out, probably through the mobile app. But if this triggers, then it will send me a text, and it just goes to my watch too, which is cool. So here, I'll show you what that looks like. So now we have this, you can see we have an alert on it, and then if we go over here to the alerts, now it shows the alert here. So I can get this to trigger by saying, okay, cool, I want when it crosses this line here. Let's see, is it going to do it? Yeah, okay, cool. So because this is just like the whole candle here, and it moved across it, you know, theoretically it triggered it here. So I get them all over the place. I get them on my phone. I get them on my watch. I don't want to miss these. Okay. The next symbol, or I'm sorry, the next one of these things that we favorited is going to be the rectangle tool. We're going to use this a ton. This one's kind of funny. At first, you click and release, and then you move, and then you click again, and that will place it where you want. So mine looks different than yours. Let's go and look at it and see what I did. So I have this extended to the right on this extend. If I uncheck that, it'll just be what I actually selected, which I turn this on and off depending on what I'm doing. If I'm using it to place, there's some very specific things that we do with this. I mostly use it in that way. We'll get into that later, but for now I would just have it set up as extend right, border. It's the same purple color that we use for the bearish candlesticks, then 100%, blah, blah, blah. And then the midline, I just checked the midline and I just left it that color. Background, I just did our purple at 20%. And I think that's it for here. I don't think we need to do anything else. Yeah, okay. So that's that. This continues forever when you extend to the right. Like we can go on to, you know, or 50,000, it'll still be there. This guy here, this horizontal line, does exactly what it sounds like. It makes a horizontal line. We're going to use this for practicing identifying stuff later. So this is just random green, I guess. Let's make it the same green that I like for my trend lines. Okay. Oh, also, when you're doing this, I probably should have mentioned this before we got started. Sorry. Go back through these, go to this little caret down here, and then save as, and then default or whatever. Save it. And now, anytime, if you make a change, you can just go back to default. Cool. All right, let's get rid of that. And then this is an important tool for now as well, because we're not actually putting in real positions, but this gives us a profit and or a risk reward ratio. So the one where it's the little dotted line going up, that is our putting in a position for an uptrend, a bullish trend, a buy position, whatever you want to call it. So you click on that guy, and then just click on your chart. It's going to be that same awful red and green. So go ahead and go in here, go to your inputs. So what I have set up, or style, sorry, style. These are my values here. I think I left this the same. I don't think I did anything. Stop color, the stop loss, this bottom part, we'll explain this later, but that'll be that purple at 20%. And then your take profit target area, it's going to be the blue one at 20%. Text I just put down to 8 because I think it's at 12 or something, and it's like, that's ridiculous. We don't need that. So 8. I don't think I did anything else on these. And then your short position, this one, your short position, your downtrend, your sell position, whatever you want to call it. We're going to do the same thing. Click on it, click on the screen somewhere, double click and to get in here, and we're just doing the inverse. So our stop loss color is going to be that blue or green or whatever. I'm colorblind, so I have trouble. That's green to me. I don't know, but it's a blue down here, whatever. 20%, and then purple at 20% for our target color. Switch the font to 8, and again, go here and save it as your default or whatever, and then good. I'm saying whatever a lot today. Get rid of this. Now that we have that kind of worked out, hopefully you have it looking like this, and hopefully it's pretty, and you like the colors, and it makes you feel like all zen and chill. If that's the case, then we're in good shape. I think pretty much anybody that's going to watch this is going to have my number, so just text me if you're having trouble with this or it doesn't look the same or whatever. There we go. So whatever. Cool. So now that you're set up here and just kind of watching me navigate this, I really hope that saved you like a ton of time, because it was such a nightmare trying to figure all that out for myself and get it dialed in the way I like, where it's not just this like, when I open it up, it just hurts my eyes. Cool. So I'm going to stop this here, and then the next video will go more into the terms, terminology, and just kind of the lingo. So hope this helped.